Good morning, students. Today we are going to see lesson number 9, last phase of struggle for independence. In this chapter, we are going to study the Quit India movement, underground movement, and the contribution of Indian National Army. Now, first we are going to see Act of 1935. This act made a provision for the British governed Indian provinces and princely states to form a federation. According to this act, the working of British governed provinces will be handed over to the Indian representatives. If the princely state joined the federation, then they would lose their autonomy, hence they refused to join. Therefore, proposal of federal state in the act was not brought into the practice. Next, provisional cabinet. The Indian National Congress was not satisfied with the Act of 1935, but still decided to take part of elections of provisional legislature provided by the Act. In 1937, elections were held in 11 provinces in the country. Among these, Indian National Congress gained a majority over 8 provinces and come to power in other 3 provinces. Name of party could achieve majority and therefore mixed cabinet was formed. The cabinet ministers of Indian National Congress did useful work for the people, such as release of political prisoners from jail, introduction of basic education, prohibition of liquor, measures undertaken to improve condition of Dalit, passing of act giving debt relief to the farmers, etc. Next, it is a Cripps mission. During the Second World War, England supported America against Japan. The Japanese army reached the eastern border of India. The British realized that if Japan attacks India, then they will need cooperation from the Indians. Hence, the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill sent Sir Stafford Cripps to India. In March 1942, he put up a proposal of India in front of the Indians, but none of the political party was satisfied with the proposal. The Indian National Congress rejected the proposal since there was no clear mention of complete independence. Since there was no mention of creation of Pakistan, the Muslim League also rejected the Cripps mission. Second World War and Indian National Congress. The Second World War began in Europe in 1939. The then Viceroy Lord Lithgow declared that India has joined the war on the side of the British. England claimed that the fighting to save democracy in Europe. The Indian National Congress demanded that if the claim was true, then England should immediately grant freedom to India. England refused to fulfill this demand and therefore the Provisional Minister of Indian National Congress resigned in November 1939. Quit India Movement. After the Cripps mission, the Indian National Congress decided to start an intense movement for attaining independence. The Working Committee of Congress passed a resolution on 14th July 1942 at Wardha. The resolution demanded that the British rule in India be ended immediately and India should be given independence. If this demand was not fulfilled, then the Indian National Congress wanted to start a non-violence movement for freedom of India. Quit India Resolution. On 7th August 1942, the session of Indian National Congress was held at Gowalia Tank in Mumbai. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad was the president of this session. The British should leave India. This resolution passed by Congress Working Committee at Wardha was to be finally approved in Mumbai session. On 8th August, the resolution of Quit India put forth by the Jawaharlal Nehru got passed with great majority. It was also decided to start a nationwide non-violence agitation under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji said, "Every one of you should, from this moment onwards, consider yourself a free man or woman and behave like a citizen of free India. We shall either Free India or die in an attempt. Gandhiji made an inspirational appeal to the public to be ready to sacrifice with the feeling of do or die. Beginning of People's Movement. The news of arrest of important leaders of Indian National Congress spread out of all over the country. The angry mob took out the processions at various places. Even though police charged and opened firing on the public, but still people were not afraid. The agitators attacked some places, jails, police stations, railway stations, etc., which symbolized the suppressive policy of the British. They tried to take control of government offices. If Maharashtra, the young and old struggle with the determination and boundless courage at places like Chimor, Ashti, Yauli, Mahad, Gargoti, etc., and made the struggle immoral. Underground movement. At the end of 1942, the public movement got a new turn. The leadership of this movement went into hands of young socialist activities. जयप्रकाश नारायण, डॉक्टर राम मनोहर लोहिया, छोटूभाई पुराणिक, आचार्यराव पटवर्धन, अरुणा असफ अली, युसुफ मेहतर अली, सुचेता कृपलानी, एस एम जोशी, शिरूभाऊ लिमये, एन जी गोरे, यशवंतराव चव्हाण, वसंतदादा पाटील, मंगनलाल बागरी, Usha Mehta, such leaders were in forefront. The activities disrupted the transport and communication as well as the government machinery by causing the breakdown of railway routes, cutting of telephone lines, blowing up bridges, etc. The impact of the movement was seen all over the India. Hemu Kalani in Sindh province tried to destroy the railway along with his companions when he received a news of passing of a railway carrying British troops and supplies. The court punished him to hanged to death. Bhai Kotwal's Azad Dasta in Karjat Taluka of modern-day Raigad district, General Avari Lal Sena in Nagpur, such groups made the government helpless and witless for months. In Mumbai, Vittal Zaveri, Usha Mehta, and her companions established a secret transmission center named Azad Radio. Patriotic songs were sung on it. News of aggression in the country were broadcasted on it. Patriotic speeches were telecasted. This gave encouragement to the agitators. Such transmission centers operates at Kolkata, Delhi, and Pune for some period of time. Establishment of parallel government. At some places in the country, British officers were driven out and people's government was established. These are called the parallel government. Parallel government were formed in district of Mindapur in Bengal, Balia and Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh, and Purnia in Bihar. In Satara district of Maharashtra in 1942, Kranti Singh Nana Patil brought an end to the British government and established a parallel government. At Kundal, under the leadership of Krantigrani G.D. alias Bapulal, Tufan Sena was established. Through its medium, collection of taxes, maintenance of law and order, punishment to criminals such as work was done by the parallel government. People started accepting the verdicts passed by People's Court appointed by the parallel government. Opposition to many lenders, prohibition on liquor, spread of literacy, op- opposition to caste distinctions, many such constructive work was done by this government. Due to this, due to it, the parallel government became a source of inspiration for the public. Importance of Quit India movement. In 1942, movement took up the form of a nationwide agitation to fulfill the objectives of gaining independence. Lakhs of Indian made the unlimited sacrifices. Many sacrificed their lives. The number of people participating in the struggle was so huge that even all prisons in the whole of the country were not enough to contain them. The patriotic song composed by the Sani Guruji, Rashtrasant Tukaroji Maharaj and others increased the enthusiasm of the agitation. This nationwide movement is also called the August Kranti. Indian National Army, Azad Hind Sena, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose took phenomenal efforts to gaining the independence of the India on the eastern borders of India. Thousands of Indians stood in readiness to fight against the British. All these soldiers belonged to the Azad Hind Sena. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was their leader. Subhash Chandra Bose was an important leader of Indian National Congress. He graced the position of President of Congress twice. As per his opinion, while England was engaged in the Second World War, the Indians should take advantage of it and make it moment for intense. If necessary, India should seek the help of the enemies of England, but there aroused a difference of opinion between him and other senior leaders of Congress. As a result, Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the position of president. To place his view in front of the people, he founded the party known as the Forward Bloc. Through his speeches, Netaji appealed to the Indians to revolt against the British rule. Due to it, government imprisoned him. Subhash Chandra Bose was went for the fast unto death in the prison, due to which the British government interned him in his residence. From there, he escaped in Disque. In April 1941, he reached Germany. There, he founded a Free India Center. From the Berlin radio station in Germany, he appealed to the Indian people to join in an armed struggle during the period. Ras Bihari Bose invited Subhash Chandra Bose to Japan. Formation of the Indian National Army. Ras Bihari Bose was staying in Japan since 1915. He had organized the Indian patriots living in countries for Southeast Asia and stabilized the organization named Indian Independence League. The early part of 1942, Japan conquered the territories in Southeast Asia which were controlled by the British. Thousands of Indian soldiers and officers in British army there fell into the hands of Japan. Ras Bihari Bose, with the help of the Captain Mohan Singh, formed a battalion of Indian prisoners of war. It was named as Indian National Army or Azad Hind Sena. Later, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose led the Indian National Army. In October 1943, Netaji established the Azad Hind government in Singapore. Shah Nawaz Khan, Jagannath Bhosle, Dr. Lakshmi Swaminathan, Guru Bhush Singh Dillon, Prem Kumar Sehgal, etc. were his chief associates. Captain Lakshmibai Swaminathan was the commander of Rani of Jhansi regiment. Netaji appealed to the Indian people, "You give me blood and I will give you independence." Achievements of Indian National Army. In November 1943, Japan conquered Andaman and Nicobar Island and handed them over to the Azad Hind government. Netaji renamed them as a Shahid or Swaraj respectively. In 1944, Indian National Army captured the Arakan, Arakan province in Myanmar. Posts on the eastern border of Assam were captured. In the same period, the campaign of Imphal remained incomplete because Japan stopped helping in the Indian National Army. But in adverse circumstances, soldiers of Indian National Army were dedicatedly fighting. But in the same period, Japan accepted defeat. On 18th August 1945, Subhash Chandra Bose died in a plane accident. On the background of soldiers of Indian National Army had to lay down their arms. Thus ended the thrilling phase of Indian National Army. Later, the British government charged the officers of Indian National Army with the treason. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Bhalubhai Desai, Tej Bahadur Sapre, these expert lawyers defended them, but the military tribunal held the officer guilty and they were sentenced to life imprisonment. Therefore, there was severe unrest against the British government in the minds of Indian people. Finally, British government had to suspend the punishment given by the military tribunal. Rewards of Indian Navy and Air Force. The Navy and Air Forces, which the inspiration from the Indian National Army, caused the discontent against the British government. It burst out on the British war ship Talwar in Mumbai on 18th February 1946. The soldiers unfurled a three-color flag on the British warship. They raised slogans against the British government. The British government sent army to open fire on the naval soldiers. The rebels also made counter-attack with the firing. The workers and common people extended their support to the naval soldiers. Finally, with the mediation of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the naval soldiers laid down their arms. To support the uprising of naval soldiers, the Air Force officers from Delhi, Lahore, Karachi, Ambala, Meerut, etc. were on strike. These revolts were clear indications of the sentiments of discontent against the rulers had reached a climax. In this way, the period between 1942 to 1946 shook the foundation of British power in India. Through the Quit India movement, the severe discontent of Indian people against the British was expressed. Army, Navy and Air Force was the backbone of the British power. They were also now opposing the British. Due to this incident, the British rulers realized that they will not be able to empower India for a long period of time.